Hello my yarny friends, I'm Sara Sach and welcome back to my crochet channel. Today's video I'm going to show you how to crochet our Sweet Treats Drawstring school bag. Now it can be used for any bag you want it to be. For library books, for the office, for anybody. You can make this in anybody's favorite colors, and it has these fun little drawstrings for the top. We also have a pocket on the front. You can stick your phone or your wallet or maybe your lunch card or whatever you want to, car keys, in that front pocket and make it easy to find. All right, it measures about 12 inches by 15 inches. Would basically be about 30 inches around, and it's about 15 inches tall. So it's a really nice size bag for lots of different things. Library books, your iPad, tablet, lots of different things. Now I originally wrote this pattern about 10 years ago called the Sweet Treats Beach Bag, but I decided I wanted to update the pattern because the yarn that I used for that is no longer available. And so I decided to use the Premier Cotton Sprout worsted, and I'll talk more about yarn in just a few minutes. And we chose this yarn because it's beautiful in colors, but it's a really nice soft and sturdy yarn. And again, we'll talk more about that yarn. You can also find the link to how to find it down in the notes under the video. I'll put that link there over there or under there. But anyway, it's a great bag with lots of great uses, and it's super fun. And you can use different kinds of buttons to personalize it for whoever you're making it for, and make it in whatever colors that you would like. All right, and so we changed the name to just the Sweet Treats School Bag. But like I said, it can be used for lots of different things because it's a really great size. Now you can find, like I said, the link to Premier Yarns in order to get some cotton sprouts for yourself in the notes underneath this video. You can also find the link to the written pattern with lots of brand new pictures. We've updated the pattern itself and the pictures with this particular yarn. And again, you can find that down in the notes underneath the video. To make our Sweet Treats school bag or beach bag or any kind of bag, it can be used for lots of different things as we discussed earlier. You're going to need approximately 3 ounces of yarn in 3 different colors. I used Cotton Sprout worsted, which is a medium weight number 4 100% cotton yarn. This is lime, this is turquoise, and this is called Island Breeze. And we started with the lime, and then we striped every other stripe, alternating the Island Breeze and the turquoise, and then we ended with the lime at the end. And of course we did the ties with multiple colors, and so it's kind of a fun project. We're also going to add a pocket for a phone or something else that you might want to put in there, and it makes a great school bag, as we said. So you're going to need 3 different colors, 3 ounces of each approximately. That's probably a little more than you need, probably closer to 2.5 ounces, but I always like to give you amounts a little more than needed. All right, so this is an eye hook we're going to use with 5.5 millimeter. You need a needle for weaving in your ends and a pair of scissors. The other thing you might want to have is a couple of just decorative buttons. I've just chosen these lime flowers because they go with what I'm doing. But you can use like football buttons or cheerleading buttons that look like pom-poms, or just different shaped buttons that maybe go with the person's personality or what they're into that you're making the bag for. The buttons don't have to be any particular size. They're just decorative. I'm beginning with my color 1, which is my lime solid green. We're going to use a slip knot as usual and chain 31 chains. Now remember, we're starting at the bottom of our bag, and you want this initial chain to be just a little bit loose. We don't want the bottom of our bag all puckered up. All right, so I'm going to chain 31 chains a little bit loosely. I have chained 31 chains just a little bit loose. We're going to begin by placing a single crochet in the second chain from the hook. And now we're just going to place one single crochet in each of those chains, working all the way across our chain. Go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, and go through both loops. One single crochet in each of our chains, working all the way across. I began in the second chain from the hook and stitched one single crochet in each of my chains across. So I have 30 single crochets. I chained one, and now we're going to turn our work. You're going to stitch one single crochet in each of the single crochets across. Our chain one does not count as a stitch, so we start right in that first single crochet, and we just stitch one single crochet in each of our single crochets across. We stitched a single crochet in the first single crochet because our chain one does not count as a stitch, and then we stitched one single crochet in each of the single crochets across. So again, we have 30 single crochets, and then we chained one and turn. And so what you're going to do is you're going to repeat row 2 for 4 more rows, so that we have 6 rows of just single crochet for the bottom of our bag. All right, so chain one, turn one single crochet in each single crochet across, which is row 2, and you're going to repeat row 2 for 4 more rows. So I have stitched those additional 4 rows, so now we have 6 rows of single crochet. Now what we're going to do, there's our chain one, we're going to turn, and we're going to do another row of single crochet, then we're going to single crochet down the side, single crochet across the bottom, and single crochet up this next side in order to form the stitches so that we can start making the sides of our bag. All right, so basically we're going to begin by just repeating what we've been doing. Chain one, one single crochet in each of those single crochets across. So I did that. I single crocheted in each of the single crochets across. This brings me to the side, and we're going to evenly space 6 single crochet stitches. So we're going to go right in this first spot. There's 1. We want to try to go in those stitches. 2. 3. 'Oops, we want to make sure we get in between those stitches because we want it to be really sturdy. All right, 4. 5, and now I'm at the corner. That makes 6. All right, so now we're going to turn our work, and we're going to single crochet across the bottom, and those are those beginning chains where we started. We want to make sure that we stitch 30 stitches so that our counts come out the same. All right, so I'm just going to stitch down this side, making sure I have 30 single crochets along this side so that it's the same as this side. So I stitch down this side, making sure I have 30 single crochets, and that brings us to the end. And on this end, we want to have 6 single crochets like we did on this side. All right, so we'll go right in there. 1. Try to get in those sides of our stitches. 2. 3, 4, 5, and whoops, get in there. That's the hardest part of this bag, are these two ends. Once you get that mastered, rest's a piece of cake. All right, so since I have my 6 stitches, I'm going to join to that first single crochet with a slip stitch and chain 1. And so let me show you how this looks. If your corners curl up a little bit, that's okay. That just helps with the bag in the shaping, so don't worry about that. So we have 30 single crochets, we have 6, we have 30 and 6. So that gives us a total of 72 single crochets all the way around. All right, let's do row 8. Now we're going to be stitching around, so I may refer to it as a round or a row. Either one, it doesn't matter. All right, so what we're going to be doing for row or round 8 is stitching a half double crochet in each of our single crochets. So yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, and go through all 3 of those stitches. I'm sorry, all 3 of those loops. All righty, so now we're just going to stitch a half double crochet in each of those 72 single crochets, working all the way around. And again, yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, and go through all 3 of those loops. All right, so we're going to stitch a half double crochet in each of our 72 stitches, working all the way around. So we stitched a half double crochet in each of those 72 single crochets all the way around. We're going to join to that first stitch with a slip stitch and chain 1. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to repeat row 8 for 2 more rows. All right, so make sure you go right in that first stitch and stitch your first half double crochet in that first stitch, or you'll lose a stitch and be short 1 stitch. And that's very important, because if your count's off, the rest of the bag pattern won't work correctly. All right, so we're going to stitch 2 more rows of just stitching 1 half double crochet in each of the half double crochets, working all the way around our bag. I have completed those 2 additional rows of half double crochet. Make sure that each row has 72 half double crochets around. I joined to my first stitch and I cut my green yarn. Because I'm done for now, I'm going to bring it back in at the top. And we're going to bring in color 2, which is our turquoise. There we go. We'll go ahead and chain 1. Snug everything down back there. Alrighty. Now, what we're going to be doing for row 11 is we're going to be doing a little bit of what's called a wave stitch. So we're going to single crochet in the first stitch, and then double crochet in the next. Then we're going to triple in the next stitch. And then double crochet in the next stitch. And now we're going to repeat that. Single crochet, double crochet, triple crochet, double crochet. And this just makes a little bit of a wave stitch. Single, double, triple, double. Single, double, triple, double. And this is our repeat around, and you'll see that it forms these nice little wave stitches. Single crochet in the next, double crochet in the next, triple in the next, and double in the next. Single, double, triple, double. And we'll continue to repeat this, working all the way around our bag. Single, double, triple, double, and repeat. I have completed round 11. You can see these little wave stitches that it formed by stitching our single, double, triple, double, single, double, triple, double all the way around. And then we join back to our first single crochet. And we're going to leave color 2 attached, and we're going to bring in color 3. All right, now on this first stitch, it's a single crochet, right? So we're going to begin by chaining 4. This chain 4 will count as your first triple. Now we're going to stitch a double crochet in the double crochet. Our next stitch is a triple, so we're going to stitch a single crochet in the triple. Our next stitch is a double crochet, so we'll stitch a double crochet in the double crochet. All right, so the way row 12 works is you stitch a triple in the single crochet, you stitch a double in the double, you stitch a single in the triple, a double crochet in the double, and then a triple in the single. And so we're still stitching single, double, triple, double. We just started with the triple. You'll always stitch a double crochet in the double crochet. On row 12, you'll always stitch a single in the triple and a triple in the single. All right, and that continues our wave stitch. So double crochet in the double crochet, single in the triple, double crochet in the double crochet, and triple in the single crochet. Single, double, triple, double, single, double, triple, there we go, single, double, triple, double, single. And see how that works? We're still stitching single, double, triple, double. We just moved it a little bit so that we're stitching our singles in our triples, our doubles in our doubles, and our triples in our singles. And we'll repeat this working all the way around our bag. I have completed round 12. Double crochet, single crochet, double crochet, triple, double, single, double, triple, double, all the way around. And you can see again how it makes those beautiful wave stitches and how they just meet up perfectly with the stitch row before. Now, make sure when you're stitching your triples that you're always placing them in a single crochet. Make sure when you're stitching your single crochets that you're always placing them in a triple crochet. And then always place the double crochet in a double crochet. And that will keep you from getting off in that wave stitch. It's a beautiful stitch when alternated with two colors. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to continue to stitch row 11 and row 12 for 13 more rows, or more if you want a longer bag, alternating every other row. Okay, so after this row here, row 12, we'll bring back in color 1 and stitch the row like we did on color 1. And then after that row, we'll bring back in color 3. And so we'll be alternating color 2 and color 3, alternating our rows for 13 more rows. And again, you can stitch even more if you want your bag to be even longer. All right, so repeat row 11 and row 12 for 13 more rows, alternating every other row. I have completed those 13 additional rows, alternating every other row. And I really love how the variegated row played in with the solid teal row. It's very beautiful. It's really a lot easier than you think. Just take your time and get, used to working with that alternating row. All right, now we need to finish the top of our bag. So I've cut off my yarns. I do want to show you the inside of my bag where I carried up those yarns. Here's where we added in those two colors. And then I just carried my yarn up on the inside. That way I didn't have to re-tie in every time and have a whole bunch of ends to weave in. We'll only have these two here and these two here, along with the green ones, of course, from color 1. But I wanted you to see how that looked. It's just a lot neater than bringing it in every row and having to weave in every row. So as I showed you, I cut off color 2 and color 3, which I ended on color 2 there. But again, if you added more rows, it really doesn't matter which row you end on. You can end on row 11 or on row 12. It doesn't matter. All right, so I'm going to bring in my color 1 and chain 1. And now what we're going to do is stitch a solid row of half double crochets around. All right, let me snug that down a little bit. There we go. All right, so we'll go right in this first stitch and we'll stitch a half double crochet. And then we'll stitch 1 half double crochet in each stitch. It doesn't matter if it's a triple, if it's a single, or if it's a double. We're just going to place a half double in each one of those stitches, working all the way around our bag. One half double crochet in each of the stitches, working all the way around, and then we'll join back to that first half double crochet. We have completed row 26, which is just 1 half double crochet in each of our stitches, working all the way around. We'll join to that first half double crochet with a slip stitch and chain 1. And then we'll stitch a half double crochet in that first stitch and each stitch around. And so basically what we're going to do is we're going to repeat row 26 for 3 more rows. So we'll have a total of 4 rows of half double crochet in color 1. So we're going to repeat row 26 for 3 more rows. I stitched those 3 additional rows, so now I have 4 rows in color 1 of 1 half double crochet in each stitch around for a nice top to my bag. All right, so the last thing we need to do on the top of our bag is we're just going to, I'll go ahead and chain one here. We're just going to stitch a single crochet in each one of those half double crochets. And this will just kind of button it up for us, make the top of our bag have a nice edge. All right, and then after we finish this row of single crochet, we're going to tie off, weave in our end, and then we're going to make the pocket that goes on the front of our bag. And then, of course, the drawstrings. So, to finish off the top of our bag, we're just going to stitch one single crochet in each of the half double crochets, working all the way around the top of our bag. I completed that row of single crochet. I joined to my first single crochet. I'm going to cut my yarn. We're going to go in that next loop and pull that loop to the inside. And now I have just a little bit of tidying up to do with my ends, but because I carried that yarn on the inside where we changed colors, I don't have as many ends that I have to weave in. So I'm going to take a couple seconds and tidy this up, and then I'm going to show you how to make that pocket for the front of our bag. And we're going to make our pocket. So there's my slip knot, and I'm going to loosely chain 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to place a single crochet in the second chain from the hook, and in each chain across. We chained 16. I began in the second chain from the hook and stitched a single crochet across, so I have 15 single crochets. I'm going to chain one and turn, and I'm going to begin in that first stitch because our chain one does not count as a stitch, and stitch one single crochet in each of those 15 single crochets. I stitched one single crochet in each of those 15, chain one and turn. And now you're going to repeat this for 5 more rows so that you have 7 rows of one single crochet in each single crochet across. We want you to have a total of 7 rows. So we stitched 7 rows total. We're going to cut our yarn and we're going to bring in the next color, which is color 3. Now I just chose these 2 colors. You can do whatever colors that you want to. All right, so we're going to chain 1, and now what we're going to do is we're going to do 7 rows of this color. So we have 2 solid sets. We'll have 7 rows. Of just one single crochet in each of the single crochets across, and this will give us a nice size pocket for the front of our bag. So I stitched those 7 rows in color 2, and what we're going to do is we're going to do an even row of single crochet all around all 4 sides. So we'll go across this row one more time, stitching one single crochet in each of those single crochets across. One more row. So we have single crocheted across again, and this brings us to the side. We're going to chain 1 and single crochet in that same stitch. And now we're going to evenly single crochet down this first side. And you want to be careful as you go to try to stitch in the sides of those stitches. It was a little bit loose there. There we go. It'll just look better if you try to get in the sides of those stitches and not in the holes as much. It'll just lay prettier. All right, so we'll continue to single crochet evenly down. We'll chain one in the corner, single crochet across, chain one in this corner, and then single crochet back up to where we started. I stitched single crochets evenly around all four sides of my pocket, and then I cut my yarn. I left myself quite a bit of yarn. It's probably not enough to sew it on, but I like to do that just in case it might be. It makes it a little easier than having to tie it off. And so I'll just go ahead and pull that all the way through there. And if it's enough to sew it on, it is. If not, I can always add more to it. But before we sew that on, I want to add one of my buttons. And I've decided to go ahead and add my green one. So I'm going to grab some yarn here. Because this is just a decorative button, it's not going to serve a purpose. It's just going to look pretty. All right, so I want my button right there. So I'm going to make that loop that I always do. I'm going to sew on a button onto crochet. It's just something that I learned to do to help it make it stay put just a little bit easier. We'll pull that string to the inside. There we go. And then we'll sew on our button. And I'm just going to put it through a couple of times. This is decorative, so I don't have to worry about it buttoning and unbuttoning. I just thought it would be easier to add the button before I sew it on to my bag. All right, one more knot. There we go. All right, so now my button is attached, and I really like that big one. We have this other end that pulled back through, so I'm going to go ahead and grab that, get that to the back side. There we go. All right, now it's ready to be sewn on my bag. Let me clip that end off there. All right, so I want to sew my pocket onto my bag. So I grabbed some pins because I want to make sure it's centered where I want it. You can put it down low if you want to. You can put it up high. Just remember, this is going to gather, so that's going to be in the way. So I'm going to put mine about right there. So I'm going to use these pins and just pin the corners on. That way I'll have a good idea of where I want my pocket to sit. Be careful not to sew all the way through to the back though. We don't want that. All right, so this is where I tied off. I've got all this yarn on here that's already on there. I might have enough to sew the whole pocket on. I might not. And so we'll just have to wait and see. All right, so what I'm going to do first is the corner is always the place where it comes undone. So I like to go through stitches. There we go. And just make a little loop there that's going to help that not get pulled. And I'm going to go ahead and remove that pin. All right, so now what I'm going to do is right here next to this little braid, I'm going to go in and out. And then I'm going to go back and then forward. And this is going to make the pocket on there nice and secure. And by going right there next to that braid, it's not really going to be seen. And you can see we're going back and forth. We're going up and then going forward. And so that's going to attach that on there really nicely, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and work through this. Be careful not to go all the way through. Sometimes I'll put a piece of paper in there because it's kind of hard to, once you get down into the corner, to see. So I'll take a piece of paper, like here's my pattern I'm working off of. I'll stick that inside. And that'll keep me from stitching through to the other side. Okay? So then I can kind of go to the paper and back up. And I'll stitch it this way, all the way around the pocket. And I like to do it this way because that way I know that pocket's not going to come off. All right? So I'll stitch down, I'll stitch over, and then back up. Don't stitch the top. That's where we're going to put our things in. I stitched down, I stitched across, and back up. And now I'm going to make a couple of those stitches like I did in that other corner, just to reinforce that corner, because that seems to be the place that pockets get a lot of wear and tear, is on these corners. All right, so I'm just going to go in. I guess I can take that piece of paper out of there now. And that's just something I do to help me not stitch through, you know, both thicknesses, because then we can't get in the bag or the pocket. All righty, so I'm just weaving this in securely. So now our bag has a fun pocket with a decorative button, and I really like that. So the last thing we need to do is make that drawstring handle. So now we're going to make 2 chains that are 80 chains long. I've already chained one, and now I'm going to chain another one. So I made a slip stitch, and I'm going to make this chain 80 chains long as well, because this bag has 2 handles so that you can hold it to one side or the other. All right, so we're going to make 2 chains with whatever color of yarn that you want, and each chain is 80 chains long. So 2 chains, 80 chains long. So now I have 2 chains, and each one of them are 80 chains long. All right, so we'll set one aside, and we'll start with the first one, and we're going to chain from the side, and we're going to go through. We have a single crochet row, a half double crochet row, and we're going to go through this next half double crochet row. All right, so we're going to go every 2 stitches. And we'll grab that chain and pull that through. And we're going to turn it this way so we can do that some more. So 2, 2. What I usually do is go through with the back of my crochet hook. This one's a little bit thick. Let me grab another one so I can show you what I do. So this one has a smaller end on it, and it works perfect. You go backwards through every 2 stitches with your crochet hook, and then you can just grab this and pull it through like that. All right, so I'm going to do this all the way around this bag, going through every 2 stitches and pulling the chain through. And what we're going to do is we're going to end up back around over here. All right, so I'll keep going around the back, going in and out every 2 stitches, and it works really great when you use your crochet hook, as long as it doesn't have a large end on it like this one. All right, so we went all the way around every 2 stitches, and we come right back out the hole we came in. All right, so I'm going to pull this a little bit. We're going to take those 2 ends right there and tie those. And you want to try to get that down there as close to the end of that chain as you can. Give it a nice hard tug, but don't break your yarn yet, because now we're going to do it, but we're going to do the opposite direction with our other chain. All right, and so we're going to go through those same holes. So we can go like this. Sorry, wrong direction. And go through those same holes. And pull our chain through. The only difference is the end of this one is going to be on this side. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and grab those. Oops, got caught on some green. We don't want that. There we go. All right, so that's going to be on this side. So we'll turn this over. There we go. And we'll pull it through to the other side. And we'll go in and out those same holes. Let me grab that around there. There we go. We want to pull this through. So we'll go in and out those same holes. Make sure you grab the right chain. And we'll work it through to where it's on this side. So we worked it through, it's on this side. So we're going to put those two ends together and we're going to tie a knot on this side. So now we have a bag where we can pull the two sides and close it up. Now, one thing I want to do before we're done is add these two little buttons. And the reason I like to add these is because it helps the knot not get pulled back through. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take one end of this yarn. Pick those up. There we go. Like that. Then we'll take the other end and go through the other hole. And we'll push that up and tie a knot underneath there. Oops, got caught on a petal. There we go. And I'm going to tie a second knot just in case. And what this little button's going to do, like I said, is it's going to keep it from pulling back through here by accident, okay? And then we'll just clip it, let it hang a little bit. The length of this is up to you. I always kind of open those up so they kind of look like a tassel. Or tassel. I know I say tassel because my grandmother did, but it's actually a tassel. And then we'll do the same thing on this side over here, and our bag will be all finished. Our sweet little bag is all done. I went ahead and cut my tassels or tassels down short. I thought it looked better that way, but you can leave them longer if you want to. It's totally up to you. We've got a little pocket here. You can put your phone in, or a note, or you know, whatever you want. And this is a great bag for teachers, for moms, for dads, for anybody. You can make it in any colors, add whatever buttons that you want, whatever cotton yarns that you want, and make a fun back to school, back to the office bag. I love it.